of President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. According to the latest NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, that number is up 1 point since last month. 44% say they approve. 65% said that Trump did not take the coronavirus threat seriously enough at the beginning. 32% believe that he did, and 36% say they trust the president's opinion of the coronavirus. That's compared to 66% who say they trust their state's governor, and 60% say they trust Dr. Anthony Fauci. That same poll also shows the apparent Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, up 7 points over the president, 49% to 42%. This is at this point, Joe, what you see here is Joe Biden is careful with his words. You see some of the latest ads that have been rolled out, which are really strong, which show clearly that Joe Biden saw this coming. Right. He was writing about this in USA Today in January. He was concerned. Yeah. He saw it coming like a steamroller coming in the direction of the United States. He was concerned. Yeah. He called on the White House, the president, the administration to take it seriously. They did not. So this is plain and simple.
This is what I've been saying. Donald Trump needs to stop doing these nightly press conferences, not only for the safety and the health of the American people, but also for his own political fortunes, because every night he goes out and damages himself by just being a day trader. He just shoots from the hip, says whatever he's
You see him get angry if anyone brings up facts that get in the way of him looking good. And I talked earlier about the emperor's clothes falling off every time he gets up there, but he truly is like a child, angry that things aren't going his way. It's not good for him to show that to the American people.
He's doing something else too. It's like a guy that is being told by his lawyer, don't talk, whatever you say, it's going to be used against you, whether it's a civil or criminal, okay? So just don't talk. Yeah. Make sure you measure every word. Because what happens is Donald Trump goes out and he rambles. He says stupid things. He says things that are lies. And all he does is he gives Joe Biden's campaign, he gives Democrats just 2.5 hours of material every night to fact check against all the things that they already have on tape from January and February. And you were right about Joe Biden. Joe Biden in January was saying that Donald Trump needed to get more serious about this. In January, he was saying that Donald Trump needed to let scientists and doctors run this operation and do the talking. In January, he warned what was coming. Well, Donald Trump wasted all of February, and as we can look at the recount calendar, you see that even near the end of February, a whole month went by, Donald Trump was still saying that this was magically going to go away and that it was a hoax being rallied up by the media. So John Heilman, I'm going to go back to one of my pet peeves. I have just a few, John, you know that. But one of them is this, Donald Trump as political Superman. There is nothing that can stop Donald Trump. And there's weeping and gnashing of teeth and putting sackcloth and ashes on people who are just walking around aimlessly saying, how can he get away with this? And what I say is he gets away with nothing. There's a reason why he doesn't get to 50%. There's a reason why he lost Virginia in 17. There's a reason why all those women in Northern Virginia were standing in the rain for hours saying, we're not going anywhere, we're voting. To send a message to Donald Trump. It's why in 2018, everybody was freaking out about all this stupid stories about leprosy or whatever he said was coming in these caravans, and why he was sending U.S. troops shamefully down to the border during the holidays. No, how can he get away with it? He did the biggest historical landslide ever in the House of Representatives in 2018. And now you look at these numbers, it seems that most Americans see what we see. 65% of Americans, let me say this again, 65% of Americans, almost 2 out of 3 Americans saying they do not trust what Donald Trump is telling them. And 65% saying that he wasn't ready to He was ill-prepared. He did not take this threat seriously enough. Less than 1 out of 3 thinks he took the threat seriously enough. I mean, those are the hardcore tinfoil hat wearing, like Trumpies. And then, do you trust your governor more, or do you trust the president more? As he's attacking governors, 66% say they trust their governors more. 20% say they trust Trump more. Now look at Fauci. Fire Fauci, fire. Yeah, that chant, that's really awesome. And boy, we should all freak out about that because
you're talking about
8% of Americans don't trust Fauci. Less than 1 in 10 Americans. Again, this is where media really sends, I think, a twisted and warped view of America because those people should not even be there. 8% of the population. And if that in fact is people are going to show, they can say, well, that's less than 1 in 10 Americans who feel that way. Again, I just think the way that this is being covered right now suggests that Donald Trump somehow is getting away with all of these lies. Somehow is getting away with all of the shift blaming. It's just not happening if you look at these polls.
Right, so, Joe, the president has not been on a ballot for now 3.5 years. And the story of the Trump administration in those 3.5 years, when Donald Trump's name has never been directly on a ballot anywhere, there have been a lot of elections. There have been congressional elections. There have been midterm elections, off-year elections. Most recently up in Wisconsin, we had elections. We had a Democratic primary, and we had an election for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Local elections, by-elections, all kinds of elections. The Republican Party, in those elections over the last 3.5 years, has gotten its clock cleaned systematically. And I think everyone in politics understands that although Donald Trump's name has never been on the ballot directly, his name's been on the ballot in some sense in all of those elections because he's the dominant force in American politics. So every one of these elections is in some sense a referendum on Trump. He makes himself directly part of many of those elections, as we saw in that Wisconsin